And we are recording again.
Hey!
So yes,
Hello.
this is
Fancy
episode.
seeing you here.
Fuck! Oh, it's so annoying.
Damn it!
So anyway, this is episode 6 of 7 or 29. I don't know anymore. We were recording for about 15 minutes and it corrupted. But anyway, how are you today, Paul?
I'm very well, thank you for asking. Sorry, this is really funny.
I'm livid.
I am very well. It is a wonderful Sunday. And it's good to be back here on episode number... yeah. So
Right.
what's today's podcast about,
Right,
Mr.
today's
Gray?
podcast, we're basically answering your burning questions again.
Oh, really?
Yep, as shocking as that is.
It is
And
shocking.
we did answer 2 just now, but to be honest, we're just going to skim over them.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. I can't remember
Yeah,
my
we're
answers,
just-
that's fine.
No, I can't. God damn it.
It's fine, we got this. Okay, let's work our way backwards then.
Okay, let's go from the newest then, yeah?
Okay, let's work
Because
our
that
way
was top
backwards.
comments.
Yeah,
Please,
it'll work.
please, video gods, let this record, goddamn you. Pablo, ready?
As I'll ever be.
From Saffron Lisa, do you believe in time slips? Not
No.
Frankenfurter and Rocky Horror
Well-
Picture.
I don't believe in time slips as put in modern fiction and stuff like that. I did
Yeah.
read an interesting case once, about... So, there is a really interesting theory surrounding quartz. You know about this?
Quartz. What, the mineral?
Quartz. Yes, the mineral quartz.
Right, okay.
And it's and it got twisted. I'm not gonna go into it too much. You can go and read about it. I'll find the link so you can put it in the description. But it's been twisted down in modern fiction of people that have been in highly mineralized quartz-based areas have experienced time slip.
I think I have heard what you're talking about now. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just gave me the memory back. Maybe
Yeah.
I was in a quartz-filled area. I don't know, but
And I think it's all to do with people using quartz on watches to power watches. To be totally honest. And that's where it's and that how things get twisted down.
Yeah.
Yes, but do I think it's real? No. What about you?
well, the time slipping, I think people, like you said, are thinking of the movie time slip, you know, and the fictional time slip. No, I don't. Anything to do with actual time is hard for someone who's not a scientist.
Yeah.
And also where time flows in as far as we know, singular direction.
That is not the case in any way, shape, or form because time is completely relative.
No, I know. Yeah, sorry, it's relative, but
but that's
you
what
know,
you're saying. Yeah, I got.
yeah,
that's
it's
what you're
only
going
going
with.
forward and from our perspective.
Yeah.
You know, although didn't they? Wasn't it a scientific experiment a couple of years ago where they like briefly sent an atom
Yes,
back
through
like,
time.
like was it like a millionth of a second back in time or something?
No, it's
Or was it forward?
forward
in
in
sorry?
time. So,
Right,
but
sorry.
that is not. So you know about. Have you heard of the roller coaster hypothesis?
I have heard that term, but I can't remember what I was.
Right. So the roller coaster hypothesis is a really simple way of explaining time to people. That if you and I went to a theme park, and we both had identically synced nuclear-powered timepieces, so that worked on micromilliseconds or nanomilliseconds.
Yeah.
If
Well,
you
right,
spent-
okay.
Yeah,
Go
and
on.
then you spent 15 minutes on the roller coaster and then came off, our watches would actually be out of sync.
Yeah, well, no, I just remembered now. Of course, if the further away you get from Earth as well, your time's different, and if if you go close to a black hole, your time. But again, it's relative from perspective, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. It's very, very confusing, but it's a wonderful, remarkable thing to actually comprehend.
It is because, like, obviously, as you do know, as you get closer to a black hole, time slows down for the people viewing the person going towards the black hole, which is bananas to me. Because of gravity is absolutely bananas to me. That is
because it's like because also the concept of a year is not the same concept as a 365-day year is not the same concept as it used to be, because technically our year is shorter
don't
than
we?
it used to be.
Well,
We
yeah,
lose-
no. That's why they brought leap years in, because we kept on adding. Was it we had to take away either 4 minutes or add 4 minutes per year?
Yeah, I think because of the switch from base 20 all the way down to common Gregorian, we kept on losing things, didn't we, along the way?
Yeah.
But then because of time compression, now years technically do get shorter, and it is like one of the ultimate questions in science, which is remarkable, which becomes more aware when you are aware of the question, which I love, is why do night times always seem so much shorter than a daytime?
Because you're sleeping.
But even if you're awake, if you think about it, when you're awake, if you are aware of it, realistically, the 12 hours of twilight will always seem shorter on you, but it's to do with your evolutionary body clock, apparently.
Your I can't remember what it's called. What's it called? Your circadian rhythm. Is that what you're on about? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's really, really interesting.
I've never noticed myself, but
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it's really strange, but you have to become. I think it was actually I think I read about it because Richard Dawkins.
Yeah.
Actually, that was strange. A light's just gone off, and it's just come back on.
It's usually my stuff that fails, but go on.
Can I have a name, Sam? Yeah, but I think it's Richard Dawkins that. What's his one about the mice? The book about the mice. Is it called? What's it called?
I don't know. I only know The God Delusion. That's the only one I know of Richard Dawkins.
I can't actually find. It might not have been that one.
Maybe it wasn't Richard Dawkins.
No, it was definitely Richard Dawkins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But he refers to the experiment, as he often does in his books, doesn't he?
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. All right.
So, yeah.
So no time slips.
No.
Here's a question, and this is from me now. Do you think time travel will ever be invented? Do you think it's possible it could be invented?
Given from a scientific perspective, I think it is within the realm of possibility forwards. To travel backwards, you have to delve into something called cotton bud theory, which also has to play into quantum mechanics and string theory, and it becomes very, 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 very convoluted, and almost to the level where you just have to look at it and that is to travel backwards. It is far more complex than it is to travel forwards, because traveling forwards we know is theoretically possible.
Yeah.
But traveling backwards doesn't work the same way, and it does again reshuffle how the approach of our mind towards time works.
It is a mind bender. I don't think it can be possible myself.
Forwards or backwards?
Backwards, definitely not.
Backwards, I'm with you. Backwards,
I'm going to say definitely not. Forwards, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it's a mind bender, which I do think about a lot.
If anyone's got Terence Howard's email, he'll know.
Yeah, Terence Howard, let us know. From L. Wells, what if something was invented that proved ghosts exist, and we could use that to look back at the past supposed haunted places, and some were proven to be true? Is there a haunting you wish were true? I like that one.
Is there a haunting I wished were true? I'll let you go first, 'cause I need to think on that one.
I wish the Conjuring one was true.
Yeah, okay.
I can already hear the future comments through the time slip of people saying the Conjuring one is true. What are you on about? It is true.
It's right, because this one's going to invoke the same meta ones as well. I wish the Enfield one was true, because that one was the one that kind of always resonated with me most.
The Enfield one annoys me a bit, right? It annoys me a bit, the Enfield one.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, oh yeah, this little girl's possessed by the old ghost of Bill. Was it Bill, I think his name was, or something? And you can hear her speaking, like you can hear Bill speaking through her. It's just her.
Yeah.
It's a teenage girl making her voice go deeper by growling. I don't think... Well, no, it's not...
I always loved it, and I'll be honest, for a long, long time, for me, it was the one that sat in my heart as the one that freaked me out the most. And then...
The Enfield ghost freaked
the
I have a ghost book. I have had many ghost books over the years. One of them I had as a kid was with loads of stories. The Enfield ghost was one of them, and it scared me so much I had to stop reading, put it down, picked it back up a couple of days later. I was like 14 years old when I first read about the Enfield ghost.
Either that or 30 East Drive. Just because I think it's brilliant that they still advertise the Black Monk, but then you go 3 pages into the website. You can all go and do this. Go onto 30 East Drive website, look at the name of the book, then go into the book. You can go out online, you've got to review the free PDF. On about page 48, it's like there has never been any existence of any of the monks, of any of the Cognac monks around here. They've never existed.
Yeah, it's to be honest, it's a hard question to answer because why would you wish someone to go be terrorized by a ghost? I don't know, wish if it was true. I don't know.
That's a very good point. She just we're sadists.
Yeah. It's a hard one to answer, because do I wish a haunting was true from the person who was being haunted? No,
but from like the actual story of it.
Yeah.
Because something like that would just change our entire perception of everything on Earth, wouldn't it? Really, but it would change the entire world overnight.
It changed. Yeah, of course it would. If
everything, it would change science. It would change religion.
Yeah, if that was proven true, of course. Yeah, it absolutely changed my life. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
It's like, would you wish the Amityville to be real? No, you wouldn't, because Defoe went around and bloody done his own family in.
Yeah.
Because he said he's possessed, but no, he was just a maniac.
Yes, he was just a fucking nutter.
He was just a maniac. But yeah, it's an interesting question.
I like that question.
I like that question, but it's hard to answer. Like I said, from the perspective of do you wish a certain haunting was real? Not from the family's perspective, but yeah, it's an interesting one. On to the next one. I'm not sure if this is, the way it starts, I'm not sure if this is a real question. From Sky Talker, my moist burning question. I don't have burning questions. Can I ask a frozen question? Why not really?
That's Sky Talker. That won't be a question. That'll be Sky Talker being Sky Talker.
I don't know where I read that. There's nothing here. This comment may contain nuts. That's all she says.
Yeah, that's Sky Talker. It does. We agree.
Right, next question. Hi, some paranormal investigators and debunked have said to have paranormal experience when they were young. Have you? I've answered this many times, so you can go first.
I've answered this many times as well, and there were a couple of incidents that I've never ever been able to explain, and that's what actually got me into the paranormal side of things. So yeah, there was a couple of incidents when another one
like now a light goes out again.
I mean, I'm perfect. So I had an experience which was not so much paranormal. It was basically I had the same dream on repeat. I was like 5 years old, and I had a dream that was I got a big guy standing at my bedroom doorway with a gun. He was about to shoot me, and I woke up. And as I woke up, there was a guy standing at the doorway with a gun. And then I woke up again, and it just repeated 5 or 6 times. That freaked me the hell out. Yeah. And then there was another time I was at my auntie's. She used to live in a static caravan. She didn't used to like dags. And I woke up in the middle of the night, and I saw someone talking to the bird in the front room of the static caravan. And then the next morning I was like, why were you talking to the bird? There's no one talking to the bird. But you're a child, so you never know these things. As I've got older, and as I've been going on more and more investigations and stuff like this, I'm becoming less and less convinced. And I'm still yet to see anything on YouTube at all that is convincing.
Yeah, same. Speaking of dreams, I actually had a really bananas nightmare the other day, which I was going to make a video about. So I'll get into that in the future video. Okay. Yeah, but anyway, I just wanted to get her out there because you just reminded me. I wrote her all down and everything. I don't want to know. It was to do with demons, which we'll get to. But anyway,
okay.
As a kid, I was a full-blown believer. I said this many times. I was a full-blown believer in ghosts. I was terrified of every little fucking dark room. I think I just briefly mentioned in an old video a couple of years ago. On some weekends, I used to sleep at my grandmother's. My grandmother passed away a couple of years ago. But I used to sleep up at her house, and she had a really old house, a couple hundred years old miners' houses, and I would always sleep in the back room, all right? And in the back room, it was always cold. Plenty of bedding on there. I was never cold under the bed, but the room was freezing. There was no double glazing, this was like early to mid 80s, which obviously double glazing is around, but this house didn't have double glazing, right? And anyway, I would always be terrified because my brother used to tell, and my mother has mentioned my mother, right? And I believe my mother, by the way, right? You know, my mother wouldn't lie to me. She used to tell me if she saw a girl. Oh no, my grandmother saw a little girl at the top of the stairs one night. Just a little girl, and then it disappeared. Right? Now that was from my grandmother. Okay, so I heard that story when I was about 12 years old, which was the worst thing you could. It was the worst thing that could ever have been told to me at that age. I think my brother told it to me or my mother. I can't remember, but that was the story I heard. So whenever I would go to sleep at my grandmother's, I would be fucking terrified to sleep in that room. But I would sleep there. But I think I'd get under the blankets and I'd be like that until I was so tired I just fell unconscious. Every time, right up until about the age of 15, maybe. Even at the age of 15, I was still terrified. After that, I was all right. But that's as close as I ever got to thinking I've had a paranormal experience. Is because I was always expecting to see something in that room. Never did. But I was always expecting it. That's as close as I've ever had to a feeling of the possibility. And as I get older, it's just my bloody imagination running wild, like, you know?
Yeah, for me, because I grew up in, like, a very mixed religion environment. So, like, Judaism from mom, and then, like, Christianity, Church of England from my dad, and that side, like, my grandfather was a Christian preacher, and his grandfather before him on my dad's side. It was all very much, you know, if you do anything wrong, you're not just gonna get a smacked arse. You're going to burn in hell. And we'd get we would get very, very, very descriptive stories of what was going to get us.
That's bananas, I can't imagine. Like, I never had that upbringing, thankfully.
Yeah. But it was, it was all in good jest, and then I just started to obviously just question, because I would get it probably worse, because I would always question it far more.
Yeah.
Because back then, I didn't have the diagnosis of Asperger's. I was high functioning hyperactive. That was what it was. If you remember in the 80s, you were hyperactive.
Too many E numbers in the 80s. That's what they used to call it.
Yeah. and like, because I was always just really like, I question everything to do with it, because of, especially like my grandfather's status. It was it's not like he is now. It was almost grandfather and his dad were almost cult like with things. And it's very, very different when you question things with people like that. Yeah. So that's kind of where my fear came from. Yeah. And also my fascination.
I don't know where my childhood fear came from, but saying that, I saw The Exorcist for the first time at 9 years old.
Yeah, I was about the same.
Yeah.
Watch it.
No, my parents didn't let me watch it. I watched it with my mate over. I think his parents let us watch it, and I don't think they realised what kind of film it was. And we watched it, and that scarred me.
Yeah, I watched it with my nan. So my nan, she wasn't religious at all. Like, out of 17 of her grandkids, there was 17 of us as grandkids, and like she always just say, "You're my favourite," because I was just because I was just always kind of just whatever just came out. Like, yeah, you can imagine. And I remember sitting and watching it with her, and she was brilliant.
Yeah.
We'd sit and watch Walker, Texas Ranger and horror films together.
I saw way too many horror films at a young age when I was younger. Honestly, it's ridiculous. No wonder I believed in bloody demons and shit.
I remember watching The Entity with her. And she just looked at me. I was 10 years old, and she just looked at me and went, "They're nice boobies, aren't they?"
Films, right, we'll get to the next one now, but films I watched at a way too young age. Exorcist.
Yep.
Alien. I watched Alien, I think I was 11 years old. The Entity, Poltergeist. You look at Poltergeist now; it's not that bad, but as a kid, it's fucking terrifying.
Kid,
and the other one, which always terrified. What was it? Oh, The Omen. The Omen. I watched that like I was 10 years old or something. My brother used to put them on, and I'd watch it like, oh fuck me.
I remember the first time I watched The Omen, and I thought this would be a good way to freak out my brothers. I used to stand there looking at them. Never worked.
Yeah, so that's probably why I was a believer, but no, as I got older, but there's nothing I couldn't explain away as an adult. Yeah. You know. So yeah. But yeah, so next question from one Annalise. There you go. I have two questions, all because for some reason I had to think about The Mummy Returns, The Scorpion King. So what is the moment in the movie or series that made you go, that is not how that works? I'll get to the next part now, but that's...
You already know where I'm going with this.
That's the first time. That's an interesting comment, guys.
Breaking Bad, mercury fulminate. I've said this to you many times before. He throws it on the floor and the whole place explodes. Not over.
Yeah, no, I know.
Done.
Yeah. I can't think of any... I guarantee there are films out there where I've gone, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I've always said mine. I've always been able to switch off my brain when I'm watching a film, no matter what film it is. I'll analyze it the second viewing, but the first viewing, I'm just in the film.
Yeah.
So I honestly can't
I can be very quickly switched off a film if Breaking Bad tried to kind of place itself with some science, didn't it? It really tried to place itself out there, and I think that's why that did it for me. But obviously, there's other films, like I said to you before, with other films. I don't watch Terminator and then see him like come back and then call it with his hands and like freezing out there. He ain't got any clothes on, and then turn it off.
I don't know. Con Air, when when Nicolas Cage gets shot in the arm, he just keeps on walking.
I'm going to show you there is a god.
I don't know. I can't think of one off the top of my head. I guarantee there's many films out there where I've gone, that's bloody stupid. Yeah, Con Air is brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah, right, on to the second one.
You know, just say before you go on to the second one.
Go on.
Best line off that film is when Billy Bedlam is in his prison and he goes, "What you looking at, chum?" And Nicolas Cage goes, "Oh, nothing. I'm just a man your cage." I love that film.
Nicolas Cage is brilliant. I think he's a brilliant film. He gets a lot of stick for a lot of good reasons.
Yeah.
A lot of good reasons, but I like his films.
I love that film.
Yeah. There was a second part to that comment, which I missed, by the way, but I think we're all right with it. No, we'll go to the second comment of one Annalise. The second one was supposedly a very serious moment that he couldn't help but laugh, like the mummy running into shot at the scope he gets stabbed by apparently a harpoon, only to dramatically scream, "No!" Or Voldemort in the final movie. Harry Potter movie, obviously.
Yeah. I didn't think he was in the Mummy.
I've seen the Mummy. What's a serious moment in a film that you couldn't help but laugh?
A serious moment in a film where I couldn't help but laugh.
And you can't say Schindler's List. That's ridiculous.
You know me too well.
I know.
A serious... I'm going to let you go on this one because there's probably quite a few.
No, because I'm trying to think. Because like I said, though, I get really into films. If there's an emotional moment, I get sad. I don't know.
Do you know what? I'm going to say it and you're going to hate me for it, but...
Go on.
But it just comes down to... I'm laughing now just thinking about it. It's Luke's scream. No! Do you know?
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
You know what I'm on about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're on about. I think he's a bit over dramatic. Yeah.
Something quite comical about it. He kind of sounds... I think Chris from Family Guy managed to do it with perfection.
No, Mom!
But yeah, I think it's Luke Skywalker's scream.
Yeah. Again, I can't think of any.
Or it's the moment where Gary Oldman appears in Tiptoes.
I haven't seen that.
So Tiptoes is...
No, I know, you told me about Tiptoes.
I've told you about this. So for everyone that hasn't seen it, it's a perfectly serious film where Gary Oldman plays a dwarf and Matthew McConaughey is from a family of dwarfs, and it's a completely serious film, but it's impossible not to laugh at Gary Oldman just on his knees with sellotape shoes to his legs. There's something quite magical about it.
I saw the pictures and that was enough for me.
Yeah.
I can't think of any myself. Like I said, I guess so into movies, whatever the emotional impact that movie is supposed to be telling me, I'm in that emotion watching it. So I don't know.
Yeah, so sometimes I'll just slip out of it and start laughing.
Yeah, I think it's because if I'm with someone watching a movie, I'm one of those people. I'm just watching a movie.
Yeah.
Don't if someone, right? This is what I used to hate. Right, you're gonna get my pet peeves now about movie watchers. Right, I hate it when I'm watching a movie with someone or a group of us or something, and then I'm watching a movie, really enjoying it, and someone goes, "That's not real. That wouldn't happen." I fucking hate that shit. I know it's not real. It's a movie.
Like the horse death in Neverending Story.
Yeah. But no, that's the saying. I'm one of those people. If I'm watching a film, I'm in the film. I am emotionally invested in whatever film I'm watching. So when someone says that's not real, that's never going to happen, I'm like, shut the fuck up, Lou, please.
I'm gonna kill you.
I'm trying to watch the movie. So yeah, I that's why that one's a bit hard to answer for me, because I am always emotionally invested in whatever movie I'm watching. I just switch my brain off.
I can, on very certain occasions. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes I fall in love with the way a film is put together. I've said this to you before. Like, I absolutely like fall in love with the way a film is put together, and then I'll go back and just watch it and just fall into just enjoying it.
See, I'm the opposite. I enjoy it the first time. The second time I watch it, I'll look at the way it's made and stuff like that. Like, yeah. But no, the first time I'm watching something, no matter what it is, I am in that bloody film or TV show. I'm in it. I'm in it. You can't distract me. You know, unless you say, "Oh, that's not real."
Yeah. I know what to do now. I'm just gonna text you randomly at random occasions and hope it gets you with, "That's not real."
Honestly, there was this there's this family member who, whenever I'd go down my sister's, if we were watching a movie, she's not, and she was what they were watching it. Not my sister now, but this other family member. She'd be like, "Oh, it's so ridiculous. It never." Shut the fuck up, please. I'm trying. I know Superman cannot fly through buildings. It's Superman. You don't have to tell me that wouldn't happen. Yeah. You know, it's like.
Yeah.
I know you are one of those people, Pop. I can tell.
I'm not one of those people until afterwards. Right, I never do it during a film.
Okay. Right, on to the next one anyway. From Sammy Sense. What kind of video, if anything, makes you cringe and is difficult for you to watch other than the paranormal? Cringe. What makes you cringe in videos?
We've had this discussion many, many times.
I'm going to give you mine straight off the top of my head. I got a few, right?
Go on, hit me.
Sad music when a sad moment is supposed to be happening in a YouTube video. Yeah. I think it's cringe as fuck myself.
It's always the same one as well.
It's always
yeah.
It's like piano music, or it's bloody Coldplay playing or something, like, you know, which I actually don't mind Coldplay, but there's always that same song playing over, like, you know, look at this child, he's very sad. Yeah, I know the child is sad. I can see he's sad, and you know, but you don't have to play the music. I think it's cringe as fuck. I do. And like when it comes to YouTube videos, it's like the same for YouTube videos. Not talking about paranormal. I find a lot of paranormal stuff cringe. Like Mindseed, Paranormies, they're kind of filmmaking. Even though it's high production, they kind of filmmaking. Like, oh my god, I'm so sad. You know, we get it. You're sad. It's cringe as well. But I'm talking about non-paranormal stuff. Is like you'll get like videos, like say a commentary video about a subject. And it'll be in the beginning of the video, like the narrator's like, "Oh yes, and this play, you know, he was playing football. He had such a great time, and then he went home, and then he saw his mother, and then the music. I'm like, fucking get the fuck out of here with that." Yeah, I hate it. I do find it cringe as hell, honestly. But go on, I could go on.
Well, we'll just take it in turns because there's going to be lots. We know there is. One of my biggest hates, is, you know this, right? Is which one should I do first? You have YouTube video editing tutorials drive me up the fucking wall.
I can't remember the last time I watched a editing tutorial, to be honest with you.
They're all exactly the same, and they all make me dive into the depths of my soul by how wrong they all are. Because what they're actually is, as we've discussed before, is they are YouTube video creation tutorials.
Yeah. And
there is a massive difference between the two.
Yeah.
And I think the second thing it kind of leans into it as well is, and it goes for any video, you get it quite a lot, and you can always tell, is that kind of Dunning-Kruger style video where someone comes out with an expert video, and you can tell they're reading it off a screen, don't actually understand what they've said.
Yeah, no, that is one of my. It's not a cringe thing, but it's one of my big bugbears. It's
That's
people
the cringe thing for me. Like, I can't do it. I can't make it through 10 seconds. I can tell straight away.
Yeah. No, it's people who write a script for their video. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. I don't script stuff, but unless it's like little short films, that's different. But no, it's like when they script something, and obviously they read it out, and they read it in such a way which is non-human. Yeah. It's just they come across as so robotic and just, like you said, not understanding what they've written down.
Yeah. And sometimes, I know you're the same with me on this, just throwing my finger around. Is that I was watching, I can't think who it was. And basically they were doing a visual effects tutorial.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they were talking about all their history and stuff with this. I was like, oh, great, let's have a look at what they've done with this. And then they're like, well, they've got this black background, so what I do here is I just add a chroma key. And I'm like, you've got 20 years of visual effects experience. Why are you adding a chroma key to a black background rather than a luma key? No wonder the effect looks shit if you're not using the correct tool. So then you kind of like, does this person actually know what they're talking about in the slightest?
It's probably they figured something out by accident. They thought, oh, I'm going to make a tutorial video.
Yeah, is half time what it is, and then that gets diluted as it further comes down, and you end up with a series of people making the same tutorial all in the wrong way. It becomes,
it becomes the norm.
It becomes the norm, yeah, and it is sort of embarrassing.
Yeah, but we're gonna go on to the next one now. We're just gonna keep on going.
Let's keep going.
Keep going. From Ruth McCurdy, first date questions. This is gonna be interesting. Yep. My first date with my man, he was driving and asked me, "Hey, do you want to play the anal game?" Okay. He next said, "When you see a make of a car, put the word anal before it. We saw a Ford Probe Anal Expedition, Anal Explorer. I hope UK had cars to match this game. Don't forget the Ford Fiesta. That's the best game I know." So basically, do you put anal before any car names?
I've never done anal with a car, no.
No, not me. I thought there's going to be...
We have a different one here where you just have to, like, so you take the last 3 letters of the reg plate and you have to make, like, a culpable gathering of 3 words. The last 3 letters.
I've never played games like that in the car, to be honest.
And myself and Mrs. P, we play biochemistry and hematology bingo with them. Right. So everything in biochemistry and hematology generally comes down to a 3-letter, so it's short for it. So, for example, if you have a full blood count is FBC.
All right. I mean, I do make names out of number plates.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to do that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, if I see a 5 with a 3 in, I think, oh, Sean. Just got stuff like that. But that's as close I get. But I did think that comment was going to be about first date stuff then. And then it went into anal cars.
Yeah, so there wasn't really a question, it was just anal cars.
It's just anal cars.
Love it.
So moving on. Yeah. No way. You cannot make this up. It's ridiculous. So going from anal cars, from Amy Wank.
Yeah. I love Amy. She's wicked.
I know.
Favorite name in my chat. I love it.
My question, out of all the YouTube fakers, who do you find the most likable, and equally, who do you find the most irritating? Of course, I'm talking about their online personalities, not personal insults or anything. I got a few I can think of.
Irritating or that you actually like?
Ones who are likable and ones who are irritating.
Okay, ones who I've got as likable are... I quite enjoy Sam and Colby. I'm not gonna lie.
No, they are very likable. I haven't watched them as many as other people, but from clips I've seen over the years, they are very likable people.
I enjoy Mindseed.
Yeah.
I enjoy. I've always said to you since we ever first started talking, there were some of my favourite ones to watch.
Yeah.
Irritating.
Go on. I got a few who irritate the shit out of me, but go on.
I find Jasko quite irritating.
Jasko is going to be my number one.
Yeah, I find him
really
irritating.
In fact, there's a few paranormal YouTubers who are exactly like Jasko, and they're exactly like him, and they like, I'm back with another banger, smash that like button, I fucking hate that shit, get out! Yeah. Get out! I hate that.
No, irritates my live on Monday.
It irritates the crap out of me, that does.
Yeah.
But likable for me, Franco TV comes across as very likable. Even though I made a couple of debunking videos on it a few years back, he comes across very, very likable. Midwest Ghost Hunter.
Yeah, he just come across as very like he's actually he's actually got autism like I have Midwest.
Oh right, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say he's very likable and he comes across as very naive as well, but you know, he's one. Mindseed, yeah, definitely. You know, Casey, I don't know, can't remember the Tanner. You haven't seen him for a couple of years. Casey, he doesn't come across as an arsehole.
Tanner's usually just in a room playing with the light switch.
yeah, he never went. That's all I can think of right now. Paranormal fakers, likable and irritating. Like I said, the irritating ones are the Jasko kind.
Yeah, there's a very like small amount that I find irritating. To be honest,
there's a small amount, but thankfully I don't watch them. I only ever see them on top fives or other people's videos. So you know, I don't watch them.
Yeah, me either.
But no, it's those kind of ones where they start, you know, we're back with another banger.
Yeah.
But smash that like button and give me 1,000 likes if you want me to go pee in the toilet.
Before we've even shown you the video.
Yeah, I know. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah, that's one thing I hate. If it's subscribe, but I've just put your video on.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Give me a reason to subscribe.
Yeah.
You know, don't tell me to do it first.
Yeah. Show us your para nipple or something.
Yeah, show us a bit of nipple, goddamn you. Yeah. But anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
From Mike Larry, if we are in a simulation, then what the heck is the simulation? But no, I think he's going on the simulation theory.
Yeah.
You know, which most of us do know about.
Yeah.
And what I've said this before, and like, you know, you can take it however which way you want.
Yeah.
I like that theory or hypothesis. It's not a theory, a hypothesis, right?
Yeah.
I do like it because you can't prove it's wrong.
What I like about it is, so somebody asked this question not long ago, maybe last year.
Yeah.
And I thought about it, and I've been thinking about it ever since. And this would be my answer to that: what the simulation is. I think if the simulation is one, and it runs over and over again. Go on. So if the simulation exists and it runs over and over again, I think it would be like an ant farm-based simulation on to see how quickly that society could poison itself, both mentally and physically, and put an end to itself. Because if you actually think logically about some of the stuff, you look at some things and you're like, how is that even a thing? Like flat Earth, right? You look at it and you're like, how is that even how have we managed to come full circle, no pun intended, back to that point? How have we managed to get to a point where one man can say they're in the Matrix and people can believe it? And it just leads you to believe it is just like a giant game. And I think that is that. If you think about it, it is that kind of full circle, almost Scientology-esque thing.
I think the reason we can, not we, I don't mean we as in us two here, but the reason why a lot of people can believe the flat Earth, believe that we in the Matrix was one guy in fucking Bulgaria or whatever the hell he's living, says it. It's because people don't do anything to further their education these days. I think they just, like you said, believe anything they see on YouTube or the internet in general, and that's a big problem if you ask me.
Well, I think that the world now, if we go back if we go back 60 almost 70 years, the world was polar opposite to it is now. The world was generally pre-Cold War. We're talking obviously here. It was generally going in a more positive direction. You know, things were starting to iron out. It was starting to find its way into the, you know, the world was becoming more diverse. Everyone was embracing everybody else. It was started on a journey to become nicer, right?
Yeah.
You know, more cultures were being embraced. America was coming together. United Kingdom. We were a good post-World War world. And then we fast forward to now, and it is not goodness that wins anymore.
No, it's absolutely not.
If you try to do something perpetually good, you will pretty much be punished for it. Really,
you get slammed.
You
get slammed up for it, especially with online, you know, social media stuff. You do anything, even if you do the kindness of your heart, you get a lot of support. You will get a lot of support, but you will always get almost equal amount on the other side saying, "Oh, look at this arsehole."
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, thinking he can just do this by giving charity money. What a knob. Yeah. You'll always get people like that. And you know, it's like, I don't know, how do you counter that? You know,
exactly.
So
there's that depressing point for everyone.
Yeah.
Put some sad music over that one, Mr. Gray.
Basically, what we're trying to say, the human race is fucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are never going to get to the Star Trek Federation days. We're never going to get there because we hate ourselves.
I think this statement epitomizes the world now. 1,000 innocent people who've done nothing wrong can be killed in the middle of a war. Yeah. And the world will still be divided into some people that believe those innocent people deserved it for some reason.
I know, yeah, I know.
And that's the kind of world we live in.
Yeah, it's literally what we're living in right now with the free places.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not good at all. And
so call me a do-gooder if you want. I'll always run my hippie mad shit channel the way it is.
Right, moving on. From Judy, what is the history of the devices that detect ghosts? Like the K2 meter, who decided ghosts would set them off? This is what I ask all the bloody time.
Right, so I've read many times about one name connected to K2. Now, why I know...
I know exactly who you're talking about, because I've looked into him. And I almost made a video about it a while ago, but the only reason I didn't is because the reason he made it is because he had a very close loved one lost.
Oh no, I was on about the guy who popularised it for TV.
Oh, okay, right, okay, go on.
This is the one so I don't know who you. So I know it's been going for years, hasn't it, with EMF?
Yeah.
And but the first person I think that brought it onto television was Chris Fleming in Dead Famous. That really made it popular in TV.
Was it? Because I thought
so.
I thought it was a guy called I think his name is Mike Chappell.
I don't know.
He was the technician the Ghost Adventures always employed back in the old days. I mean, saying that, Chris Fleming...
I mean, Dead Famous was before Ghost Adventures.
Yeah, I was just thinking, yes, before Ghost Adventures, anyway, so yeah.
Yeah, but I think he was the guy that kind of televised it, and I'm on about the actual, the thing that we've all got now, the thing off Amazon that is repeated. I think he was the guy that first made that the thing that people wanted to buy.
Yeah. But no, this is my question. I always bring up in so many of my videos, so many times, is who decided that's how you detect ghosts?
Yeah.
Who decided that? Who decided that it was EMF? Who decided that EVPs were a way of detecting ghosts? Who decided anything? And they always say, well, it's a theory, it's an experiment.
Yeah.
That's fine, but that theory, experiment, or hypothetical experiment has been going on for almost 40 years now.
Yeah.
So
maybe, so as we said last time, it's time to try something new.
Yeah, exactly. It's time to try something new. But like I said, if you're saying, all right, we only use this K2 because it's experimental now, who knows? All right, that's fine. Yeah. But you've been using it for so many years now, and you were going on the fact that it was someone said, I think this is how you detect ghosts.
Yeah.
All of a sudden now, that is how you detect ghosts, according to Investigative.
How do they know they're not just detecting the ghost of a microwave?
Exactly.
Look how many microwaves have been innocently... Put some sad music over this. Is your microwave being put into pasture?
Yeah.
Did you put your microwave on the front lawn for the scrap man to take and you didn't take it? Put some Cyndi Lauper over that, we got a winner. We're getting an award next year.
Always a winner with Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah.
But no, it's like one of the things I always bring up. How do you know that is the way it's done?
Yeah.
Basically. Only because some guy said a couple of years ago, this is how it's done.
Yeah.
Which he had no proof of, by the way. But now that is the way it's done.
Yeah, because that's why I was in any other thing in the world for absolutely anything else. If you was to say, if you and I now were to go, right, we're going to find a new invention for spreading butter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you decide to use a garden shovel. Right? It may do the job, but it's not going to be ideal. It's not going to work. We wouldn't try it for 40 years just to see if there's another way of spreading butter with a garden shovel.
Yeah.
We would just move on to the next thing that would work better.
Well, any experiment which has ever been done in the scientific, history of the human race, if it's repeatable, that's true. If they do it once and it doesn't work, if they do it again, doesn't work, if they do it again, doesn't work, right, we move on.
Well, yeah, does take into account all the variables. Once all the variables are spent, there's no other way to actually do it. Yeah,
it's like, and the whole thing with ghost hunting tech. We're just gonna call it. Some people don't like calling it ghost hunting. It's ghost hunting, right? That's what I think anyway, right? If you are still using it after 20 years and nothing's happening, like I said in the previous one, maybe it's time to move on and try something else.
Yeah.
You know? So, I don't know. It always gets me, I don't know, it's a weird one all the time. But anyway, I'm moving on. Ghost Wiener we won't answer this, but I'll say it. What's the best way to get your skin moist in hot summer days?
But you said don't answer it.
No, go on. We will answer this, actually. Go on.
What's the best way to get your skin moist on a hot summer day?
Yeah.
Jump in the shower.
That's not moist, it's just wet.
Depends.
Moist
if
is different.
If you just kind of like the Flash.
I
mean, where does moisture end and wetness begin?
Exactly. Ghost Wiener, that's a weird one, but we appreciate it.
And you've got a philosophical question. Back at you.
Yeah. From Kathy Lee. Have we named the leprechaun in the bag yet?
No. We haven't. He's still in the bag.
She suggested Peevish McPants.
That's disgusting. We can't use pants on YouTube. Peevish McPants.
From the next one, from Amy Lather. What are your opinions on mentalists versus psychics? I have a very heavy opinion on this one.
Well, I think we both have exactly the same opinion on this, so I'll let you answer.
Mentalists are people who will tell you, I'm going to read your mind, and then they will tell you exactly how they did it and say they're not psychic, it's just a trick. That's a mentalist.
Yep.
Basically.
But psychics are also just basically mentalists that use a series of things called open statements and Barnum statements.
Yeah.
To make you believe. And
have we ever discussed Barnum statements on the podcast? Did we? I can't remember.
No, we haven't discussed them now.
Yeah. Why do I think? Maybe we've talked about it. But yeah, it's basically that they'll tell you something, or this, or you like going out for long walks, but you like staying in. You like watching sad movies, but you also like, it's that kind of thing.
You work with your hands.
Yeah, you work with your hands.
It's one of the most common ones.
Yeah, basically. And I do believe, right? I do believe there are people out there who fully believe in their psychic
Absolutely,
abilities.
yeah. We have discussed this. Yeah.
Yep. But they're also, like you said, charlatans out there who will just cold read and give, Barnum statements. And basically, they will tell you exactly. It's the same as when you read the horoscopes in the daily newspaper. The daily newspaper will either tell you you're about to come into money in 20 years' time after you work for it. So they'll always tell you something which you think, oh yeah, that is me. It knows me. That's exactly me. And that's what happens with the psychic part of it.
Well, I love the fact that they did all of that for years and years and years, and then all the Sagittarius and Capricorns. Because I googled this because I didn't know what I was. So they were all like, "That is so me. That is so me. That is so me." And then they put in another star sign. Do you know this? There's actually another star sign.
What do you mean?
So if I asked you to name the star signs.
Have you been watching Terrence Howard?
No. So there's one called I was going to try and pronounce it Ophiuchus.
Spell it out for me.
Ophiuchus. It is the 13th sign of the zodiac.
Ophiuchus.
Yep. Oh no, and there's a 14th now called Cetus, Cetus.
So why don't I know about this then?
This has been a thing for years.
Okay,
for years and years, but let's be honest, how much do we pay attention to stuff like that?
Yeah.
The Zodiac Killer will be turned in his grave.
That's if he is dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then on the mentalist side, then you got people like Darren Brown.
Yeah.
He is a mentalist. He's not mental, he's a mentalist.
He's a remarkably talented one as well.
He's one of my favourite people ever, Darren Brown, honestly.
He could come to a dinner party.
Oh, do you know what? Yes. I wish we did now with the part you didn't see because my recording cocked up.
Yeah. But we'll skim over that just before we end. We'll answer those questions really quickly.
Yes. Right, so moving on. Right, from Susan Ross. Why do humans believe in the paranormal? What's the earliest recorded paranormal event? I sort of know this one.
I think humans. I don't know the earliest recorded event. I would say humans believe in it for the one thing that actually makes us human. That's hope. That's the only. That's the one thing I would say.
The hope that there's something else, because we do not live that long, unfortunately, as a species. So. But the earliest recorded, I'm going off memory now. I think the earliest recorded was 2,000 years ago, and there's old Greek texts were written was someone, they didn't say the word ghost or anything like that, because obviously that was, that's probably a different word or whatever, but they basically described being visited by a dead relative at night, which is basically a ghost, a paranormal event in the sense of things, like,
Yeah.
I mean, I could be wrong, but that's the earliest one I remember reading about a couple of years ago. There was like 2,000 years ago. And it was ancient Greek texts talking about some people being visited by the. I mean, saying that, of course you got like Roman emperors talking about visiting by dead relatives and stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But are they being metaphorical minds?
Yeah.
That's the thing with back then. You just don't know.
Obviously, through translation as well, a lot gets lost, doesn't it? So.
Yeah. So it's an interesting one. But
good question.
That's all we know. Yeah, this is a good question. From Ghost Dog, if you could teach a dog to do one human thing, what would it be? Or where would you land if you could be a fly on the wall? Looking forward to that. That's two questions, Ghost Dog, but we'll answer them. So, first one, what would you teach a dog a human thing?
I'd teach a dog to talk.
I mean,
Absolutely, without a doubt.
I mean, they basically can talk if you have a pet dog. They know you, you know them. But yeah, I teach them English, my language, basically.
Wouldn't you teach a dog to bark Welsh? Just go woof, bloody woof.
No, woof, woof,
Woof.
woofio. That's Welsh.
Woofio.
Woofio.
Woofio, daddy.
I don't know.
What was the next part of the question?
The next part was if you could be a fly on a wall in something. If you could be in on something, listening to something or watching something.
In on anything at all.
I'd be in Donald Trump's living room while he's preparing himself for his defense.
This is going to be huge. It's going
to be so good. I'm going to defend myself so well.
On the other side, right, just to counter that so we don't get any bad comments, I would like to be in Joe Biden's living room while he's watching it, while the nurse is bringing him a little tray with his tablets and stuff on.
We're going to get so slammed for that.
But at least we went both sides, so it's fine.
Yeah, we did both sides. We did both
so we keep
sides.
it fair. But you get it, balance.
Yeah. From Paula Wills. What do our dreams mean and how do they form? Do they predict the future in some way? Do you believe that you and someone you're really close to, family member, friend, partner, can both have the same dream on the same night?
We've discussed dreams before, haven't we?
I can't remember.
Where a lot of dreams come from is...
I'm very into dreams. I guess I've said this before. No, I said this before. I write a lot of my dreams down. Not because I think they mean something, because for me, they're really bloody cool. Mm-hmm. And the last... I was going to mention this earlier on when you mentioned it. Maybe we went recording. I'm going to tell you about a recurring nightmare I used to have as a kid now. But dreams for me, for some reason, the last, say, 20 years, my dreams have been like movies. Literally like movies with different camera shots and nice. I can't explain why they like. Maybe I watch too many movies. I don't know. But no, I have dreams like that. Not all the time, but quite often I'll have a dream which is, it's like I am in a movie, like I'm in an action movie or a horror movie. And it plays out like a movie in my head. If you could record dreams, it's probably nothing like it at all. But that's what your brain interprets them as, like, But a recurring nightmare, I used to, because when you were talking about it earlier on, like I said, I can't remember if that was from the cocked up recording. A recurring nightmare I used to have, and it's only as I got older where I thought it might have came from. A recurring nightmare I usto have, right? It's creeping me out just thinking about it. It's making the hairs on my neck stand up.
It's not going to be making the ones on your head stand up, is it?
No, I know. But honestly, it's giving me the chills thinking about it because I haven't thought about it for so long. But I used to have, when I was from the age of, from the age of 8 till about 10 years old, I always dreamt of seeing a woman. I was watching a woman knit a mask, right? No. Trust me. I was watching a woman knit a mask with a counter. It was almost like a Blue Peter style scenario in a set. This is how you do this. This is what I could remember, right? And she was knitting a mask. And she's looking up to me and smiling, and then she'd carry on knitting the mask. And then all of a sudden, the mask would fly up into the air and knit itself onto her face, and I would wake up. I had that for 2 years, recurring nightmare. And I used to wake up in sweats and everything. And it's only as I got older, I think I know where that came from, right? Can you remember Superman 3?
Yes.
when
Richard Pryor.
Yeah, the Richard. I'm pretty sure it's Superman 3 when the bad guy, his sister, because they build this super machine thinking computer, supercomputer.
Right.
I think it's Superman 3 anyway. But the scene where the sister, she starts trying to attack Superman, and then the supercomputer grabs her with wires, and basically she becomes part of the machine and becomes this walking around robot. Can you remember that scene at all?
No, I can't remember that scene. It's not The Quest for Peace, is it? Because I don't actually think I ever watched that one.
No, I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure it's Superman 3. I don't know. But anyway, in the scene, she's sewn into the computer. This is a fucking Superman, by the way, back in the bloody 80s, and it scared the crap out of me. And in that scene, she has metal parts just knit to her head really quick. And it's quite freaky. Look it up after this. Even now, it's quite freaky. And I think that's where my nightmare came from. I'm pretty sure that's where it came from. But yeah, I had that nightmare for years, and it's thinking about it now is still giving me the chills because I can see it. I can see it plain as day in my memories. I can see what jumper she's wearing. I can see what the mask looked like, and I can see it jumping in the air and sewing itself onto her face. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
That's not where dreams come from. I just give you a freaky nightmare. From Giselle, 10 minutes in, I've been thinking now and I got nothing. Whatever. Okay, I appreciate it, Giselle.
Thanks, Giselle. You're a great
You go from Ghostweed. Now, I like this one.
Okay.
Is it okay to have pineapple on pizza topping?
Yes.
100%
100% yes.
100% yes. It's one. In fact, that is one of my favorite pizzas to have is pineapple and ham on pizza. And sometimes I add a bit of pepper on.
We should subtitle the podcast. The Pro Pineapple on Pizza podcast.
Yeah, I love it. Honestly, I don't know why people don't like it.
It's amazing.
It's so good. It's the same thing. Like if have you ever eaten grapes with cheese?
Yeah, all the time.
It's a sweet and sour. It's made to go together, and pineapple on pizza is absolutely correct.
Yes, without
doubt. The next one from Morning Rain. There is a growing belief that aliens are actually supernatural beings that have been on Earth and possibly underwater all along. What are your opinions?
That sounds like the Doctor Who episode with the Silurians.
Oh, is it? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was an old Doctor Who episode that was exactly that.
I mean, that kind of story's been around for years. You know, aliens are not actually aliens, but they're living inside the Earth, or they you know, supernatural beings or whatever. Because the film Abyss. Yeah. With Ed Harris. Is it Ed Harris? Yeah, Ed Harris. One of my favourite films. That's aliens underwater.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as opinions of whether you're real, no, I don't know.
No, I don't think they're on Earth and walk among us.
No. As cool as that would be, and I wish
it'd be brilliant. I mean, let's be honest, if they were doing that around now, they'd just have to read one newspaper and they'd be like, which subtitles to I'm fucking off.
We're off.
This is nuts.
Maybe they are walking around among us right now, and because we're always fighting each other, they just don't want to make themselves known yet. They're waiting for us to get. They're waiting for us to get to an enlightened part of our evolutionary race. Maybe
they've recently started a podcast.
It's possible.
It is.
It's possible. I mean, I do look like a grey alien sometimes if I haven't got enough sun.
Most people just think I'm an alien anyway.
Yeah, and Pablo definitely looks like an alien. So yeah, that was your questions. Like I said, we did answer. Do you know what? We'll briefly go over the two we didn't do, right?
Yeah.
Oh wait, sorry, I missed one. Sorry, Aurelis from Aurelis. I have a burning question. Are skinwalkers afraid of ghosts?
I reckon they fight in an underground fight club.
Like Mortal Kombat or something, or like a Kumite.
Yeah, they're judged by the twins from Twin Paranormal. They have one team each.
There's a secret Kumite. They all go into the forest and just fight each other.
Yeah.
From Carly Newton, have you seen the Terrence Howard Joe Rogan clips? If so, what on earth do you make of it?
Right. I haven't seen them. But Terrence Howard is a nut job.
He is nuts. I've seen clips. I haven't watched the full thing yet, but he's basically making his own science. He's come up with his own science and explanation for everything in the universe. He sounds bloody bananas.
I think he's the epitome of what we were on about earlier of Dunning-Kruger. If you're not Dunning-Kruger, go and Google it. it is like you'll probably find a picture of Terrence Howard next to it. It is
Yeah.
rife on YouTube everywhere, but he's now in that corner. He's got
basically what we're saying. Don't believe anything Terrence Howard tells you. He'll speak to you like he knows what he's talking about. He doesn't.
He wasn't even a good war machine.
No, he wasn't a good war machine. I like what's his name? I always forget his name, but he's a good war machine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, saying that to include it because we did skim over it. From Saffron, do you believe in time slips?
I said no. I said absolutely no.
I said no as well.
Yeah, we both said absolutely no.
Yeah.
We understand like the premise of it and why and where
time is relative, and you know,
Yeah.
if you're close to a black hole, it slows down for the observer and stuff like that.
And we actually had a really, really in-depth.
It was a really good conversation, and my
great
recording
conversation
cocked
about
up. I
time
was so
travel.
annoyed. So annoyed.
But what we'll do is we'll include it on one of the other ones. We'll do a time travel based section.
Have we actually done an episode about time travel? Like the best version of time travel in movies. We'll do that for another episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I recently just no, I don't want to spoil it. Never mind. I just finished Outer Range season 2 yesterday. I like it. It's good. Anyway.
I know what film we're both going to talk about straight away, though, when it comes to it. After 3, right, we would say...
What, for time travel?
For time travel. It's our favourite time travel film, and it'd be Predestination.
Oh, yes. Go on. Go on, ready? 3, 2, 1. Predestination.
Yeah, but we already did that part. But yeah, we will go back and we'll cover what we discussed for the first 25 minutes of the podcast.
Yes.
And the final question, hang on, I think I'm psychic.
Go on.
I can't see the questions. Is it from, I'm getting a letter R. Is it someone? Chain Earlier. Richard Chain Earlier. Does that sound familiar, the name for the last question?
Richard Chain Earlier.
Richard Chain Earlier. Is that the name of the person that's asked?
Rob Linklater, you mean?
There we go, Rob Linklater.
Nice. I knew you'd get it.
There we go, I was close.
That's how psychics work.
I'm a psychic small. Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to have to end it there because
Yep.
I got stuff to do, unfortunately.
Very, very quickly, who was your 3 dinner guests for Rob?
Oh, what, am I saying my original or am I saying...
You can say the ones we've changed to since.
Okay. Carl Sagan, because I
Yep.
think it's really cool to ask him about physics and astronomical stuff.
Yep.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, because I like him.
Yeah.
Who was my third? I forgot. I can't remember who he was.
I think Carl Pilkington.
No, because I replaced him. I'm gonna go for. I done this earlier, and why do I always struggle? Maybe I just don't like having 3 people at dinner. I don't know.
They eat all the food.
Yeah, eat all the food. I was gonna say something really naughty, but I can't.
If I'm not allowed, you're not.
There's my dinner guests.
Okay, and mine were Robin Williams, David Bowie.
Yeah.
And the third one always changes, so it could be Stephen Fry, maybe Tim Burton, even Taika Waititi. One of the 3. They would interchange. Don't tell me you wouldn't have someone like Steven Spielberg there, though.
No, Ridley Scott. I'd like to have Ridley Scott because he'd just call everyone an arsehole and tell everyone to fuck off.
All I'm thinking of now is that episode of Extras. Mr. Millman, it's the phone for you. Who is it? It's Wiggly Scott.
I've never seen Ridley Scott talking about, I think it was Gladiator. And we will end now, but he's talking about someone told him to change something in his movie. He said, if you don't change this, you can't have the movie. And Ridley Scott basically went, fuck off, it's my movie, I'm doing whatever the fuck I want. I like Ridley Scott, he's straight to the point.
And on that note, we
got to end. So yeah, you will find Purple on YouTube at PARRPL, which I'll link is the description down below. This will also be up on Spotify and this also come into other podcast platforms as well very soon.
Yes. And we'll as soon as I get Mr. Gray's Joey Tribbiani headshot, we'll also have a little thumbnail for it too.
I forgot about that, yeah. All right, cool. Well, I've enjoyed, and the next episode will be a bit more coherent because we spoke for 20 minutes and then my recording cocked up. So yeah, it's a bit annoying. But anyway, we're gonna wave out now.
It's waving.
I enjoyed. Thank you, Purple.
People on Spotify can't see us waving.
They can't see us waving. We're waving. Bye for now.